Hey everybody, how are you? It's 1 o'clock here on the eastern side of the United States. And you know what that means? It means it's time for Feel Good Friday. I'm super excited. But I'm not going to dive into that yet. I'm going to wait till we've got some people in the house. There is Miss Linda. Hello, Linda. How are you? Oh, how is everybody out there? There's Miss Mary. Hi, Mary. How's everybody doing? You know what? I just realized that I did not go through StreamYard, so this is not going to be streaming. Hey, Joan. Joan, I completely forgot, just out of old habit. So we'll have to upload this one to YouTube. I completely forgot. It's going to take me a minute to get used to this whole StreamYard thing. Whoops. I'm going to have to make myself a sticky note. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Sue. Hi, Bonnie. Stacia's here, Sandy's here, Sue, Curtis. Oh, you guys, it's hot. I'm hot. It's hot in here. How is it where you guys are? It's just the South. That's just, well, I'm sure that it's hot everywhere, but it's very, very hot here. I hate it when you're like getting ready and like you get out of the shower, you dry yourself off, but then by the time you get yourself dried off, now you're starting to sweat and it's like, I just dried myself off. It's just, that's how I'm feeling today. Hi, Rita. So, you guys, it's Friday. It's Feel Good Friday, my favorite time of the week. And I wish that this was going to be the last day of my work week. Oh, but it's not. I still have Michael's classes tomorrow. I don't mean to like, oh, I wish I didn't. I just mean like, I wish they were today so that I could kind of like get them out of the way, because this week has been jam-packed. And at the beginning of the week, I was just like, please let me make it through this week in one piece, because there was so many things going on. And then some things that I didn't expect to be going on at the same time. So this has been an insane week for me. I hope that next week, or at least after my Michael's classes are over tomorrow, that things will kind of settle down a little bit. But you know, who knows? Next week might be insane too. I don't know. I hope not. I hope not. This little heart can't take it. 91 degrees in Florida. Oh, no thank you. No thank you. So hot. So hot. So, before we get started with today's Feel Good Friday, I'm going to read something to you guys. And I've done this before, and I usually do it on Fridays because our Friday shows are very, very casual, which makes the trolls on YouTube super happy because it gives them something to complain about. But I put this out every once in a while. I will put this out into the universe, and I am open to receive whatever blessings there may be. So I'm going to read this to you guys. I'm going to tell you a little bit about this. So I don't know if you guys know it or not, but the Discovery Network, they have an office here in Knoxville. They're actually not very far down the road from JTV. And it's funny because most people don't think about TV when they think about Knoxville, but we actually do have several TV stations and very large stations like, or networks rather, I shouldn't say stations, networks like Discovery, like HGTV, which is part of Discovery. They have a lot of offices here, and they also do a lot of filming here. One of my favorite shows, Homicide Hunter, very often, well, they don't make it anymore, but when they were making it very often, you could be out and about in town and they would be filming episodes of it, which I adore because I love that show, but it was also cool because I could see like my hometown. However, there is a point to this story. So Discovery Network has a lot of, do-it-yourself kinds of channels. And the biggest one just dropped. So for those of you who have cable, or if you subscribe to Discovery Plus, Magnolia Network just dropped, right? Magnolia Network just dropped. So for those of you who don't know what Magnolia Network is, this is owned by Chip and Joanna Gaines, right? They are some of the biggest names in the do-it-yourself industry ever. Not only that, but they are super amazing, very, very sweet, and just like real, genuine people. These are not superstars. They are, but they don't act like it, right? So I get this email just from Discovery because I subscribe to Discovery Plus, and I just wanted to share this with you, okay? And you'll know why I'm sharing this with you in just a second. So it says Magnolia Network is a collection of inspiring original series curated by Chip and Joanna Gaines, featuring some of the most trusted experts in home and design, food and gardening, the arts, and more. Focus on that part. The arts and more. Magnolia Network is now streaming exclusively with Discovery Plus, okay? So it just launched. They have been teasing it for a while, but it literally just dropped. Now, do I think that Chip and Joanna Gaines or anybody from Discovery Network is watching my Facebook Lives? I absolutely do not. I realize I'm just a tiny little fish in a great big huge ocean of experts in all kinds of things. However, I am just putting it out into the universe from my lips to God's ears that should there ever be an opportunity, right, with Discovery Networks, any of their channels, not just Magnolia, that I'm open to receive, right? I'm open to collaborate, and I would give just about anything to get back in front of a camera and be in a television studio again. That was my happy place. That was where I was the absolute most comfortable. And if given the opportunity to be in that kind of situation again, I would take it like that. So I just want you guys to know that if you feel so compelled to say some prayers or send some positive vibes my way or towards the Discovery Plus network, please don't hesitate to do that, right? Because who knows what might happen? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. But if you don't ask for it, you never know, right? If you don't ask for it, you're definitely not going to get something like that. So I'm just putting it out there, right? I have a great personality. I'm an amazing teacher, and we've got a great group. So we've already got an audience built in. I'm just saying. Okay. Timmy says, I'll send the vibes out for you. Thank you. That's all I ask. That's all I ask, you guys. All right. So Sharon says, I have Discovery Plus and watch all the good stuff. Me too. Me too. All right, so now that I have gotten all of that out of the way and put that out into the universe, I want to talk about Feel Good Friday. For those of you who are brand new, first and foremost, welcome in. So happy that you are joining us. And if this is your first Feel Good Friday is where we put together instant gratification, super easy to recreate jewelry that you can recreate, like I said, with things in your own stash, or if you would like to support me and would like to have the exact things that I'm using, the kits are pre-prepared for you and are available for purchase in my Etsy shop. You can buy those, I ship them out as quick as I can, and then you can recreate the things that we make on our Feel Good Friday shows. All right? So, for our Feel Good Friday show today, since we did a big major kit release yesterday with Nile and Silver Silk, I wanted to keep today's kits on the keep it under control side. Because I have a tendency to like overdo it, right? But I really wanted those Silver Silk kits to be the star of the week. And so they are. And let me tell you something, there are only, I don't even want to give the number because it's quite possible that somebody has already bought some of them up. But the last time that I checked, there were only 7 of those kits left. 7. We had a ton, like a ton. So there are only 7 of those left. So if you are interested in grabbing the Silver Silk kit, now is the time to get it. It's not going to be one that's going to come back. It will not be restocked. So if you're even just considering getting it, I would get it now because you're gonna miss your opportunity. Those will be gone before the end of the weekend. There are 4 new kits, but it's actually just 2 designs. I'm going to show you those here. I'm going to show you what those are. In fact, they're very, very simple. One of them is one that we have done several times in the past, but have done it in different colors. So I'm just keeping it very simple, very, very instant gratification jewelry today. We're putting together an easy stringing bracelet, and we're going to put together an even more easy pair of earrings with just a little bit of wire wrapping in it. So this is not necessarily so much about technique as it is about instant gratification, beautiful jewelry, right? So just keep that in mind because we're not doing anything hard today. I feel like there's something else I need to tell you guys. Oh, I do have something I should tell you guys. And this is just a little hint. I'm not going to say much more about this until we get closer to the time. But since the kits that I did with Nile were so amazingly popular, and of course beautiful because silver silk is amazing stuff, I am actually doing another collab with Nile coming up. Now, it's going to be a few weeks out, right? But we've already put another collaboration together. It's in the works already. So if you enjoyed yesterday's show with Nile and you enjoyed the kit and you'd like to see more of the same of that, we're already working on our next adventure together. So stay tuned for that. I'm looking forward to it, and I hope that you are too. All right. Okay, so without further ado, let's get right down to business. These projects are going to go by quickly, so I'm kind of trying to stretch our time out together because I don't want to leave you so soon. So let's take a look at what our projects for today are. All right. So for today, adjust my tripod just a little bit. There we go. All right, now this is a bracelet design that has been in the shop for a while, and I do them periodically with different beads and with different charms, and they are very, very popular. They sell out super quick. So I'm restocking these, and we're going to be recreating this today together. So these are gemstone bead bracelets. There are two that are in the shop. There is this one that is this beautiful leopard skin jasper. So you've got your leopard skin jasper beads, right? And it comes with a really beautiful button, a piece of leather. That's our clasp, and our ring with the charms on it. So these are really, really popular. Every time I put these in the shop, you guys buy them up. And I wanted to do them again because they're so easy and fun, but they're really, really trendy. Like this style never goes out of style. And I had these cutie patootie, look at these little foxes. I had these little fox charms, and I knew they were the perfect match for the leopard skin jasper. So this is one of the two of the bracelets that's in the shop. This one is already in the, well, they're both already in the shop, but this one's already done for you. I'm going to make the blue one. We're going to do it together so I can show you how to put this together. Okay. So I'm going to sit this one to the side, and I'm going to show you the gorgeous blue one. So the blue one, our gemstone beads for the blue bracelet are this matte crazy lace agate in this beautiful summertime blue. Well, I mean, let's be honest, this blue would work any time of the year, but this is such a calming, just kind of ocean or lagoon blue that it just really has that kind of summertime, maybe swimming pool kind of feel to it. So this is the other color bracelet, right? You get all of the beads. So you get your gemstone beads. There's actually one more bead. I'm making mine a little short. I always include plenty of beads, you guys, because I want to be sure that I'm accommodating several different bracelet sizes so that everybody can make a bracelet. So you can either use less beads, and if you use less beads, you can use them in a pair of earrings, or there's more beads if you've got a larger wrist. So the gemstone beads, and then the spacer beads, these metal spacer beads that are going to go before, or not before, but they're going to go in between, a little decorative ring, a button. So the button with this one is a little bit different. Got your wire guardians. I got all of the parts for this. Okay. You got your wire guardians, you got crimp beads, or well, they're crimp tubes, jump rings, and also the charms. So everybody gets a one of these shells. Everybody gets one of the little water droplets. I love these. I know it's so simple, but it's like one of my favorite little charms. I don't know why. And then everybody gets a different charm. So this third charm will vary. It'll either be a sea star or a crab or a mermaid. So those charms will vary. You just kind of get whatever you get. Like, I don't have them separated out or anything, so you can't really pick the charm, but they're all nautical, kind of ocean beachy themed charms. Okay. Let's see. How did Grumpy Face go by? No grumpy faces. Fox charms, any extras? Unfortunately, Joan, I don't have any of the extras. Yeah, and Susie answered the question. So the kits that I were saying there's only 7 left. That's the Silver Silk Lariat kit, and that's in the, well, it was in the shop. Let's see. I'm going back through the questions here for a second because I don't want to make anybody mad. Oh, Joan, I love that. Joan says you get the charm you're meant to get. That's exactly the way I look at it. I love that. Okay, I don't know who was grumpy, but I'm sending you a hug, okay? No grumpies today. I'm sending you a hug. It's Friday. Let's not be grumpy today. All right, so the leather cord that comes with this kit, so you get your bead stringing wire as well. The leather cord that you get with this kit is this yummy blue. It was just perfect. I don't know, this whole blue one, the leopard skin jasper was meant to be too with those foxes, but this one really just came together beautifully. I just get such a good calming feeling from this bracelet design, this color palette and the charms. I'm a huge fan, as you can tell. All right, so I'm going to show you how to put this together. These are all the pieces. I'm going to walk you through it, okay? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do the stringing part of this. So we are going to take a crimp tube and we are going to thread this on to the end of our bead stringing wire piece. Then we're going to thread on, hi Jessica, happy Friday to you. I'm going to thread on a wire guardian. Okay, so your wire guardian, you're going to slide one end of your bead stringing wire through that end. And then you're going to through that side, and then you're going to take it down through the other side of the wire guardian. Now, before you go back through that crimp bead, right? Because that's how we're going to crimp. First, we're going to attach this to our button. Now, if you want to do a jump ring here, I've included enough jump rings, so you can do this with jump rings. It also helps to add in a little extra length, but I'm going to thread mine directly onto the back of my button. So my button is a shank style button. Okay, I'm going to thread that on. So now our wire guardian is what is attached to that shank. Then I'm going to take the tail end of the wire and go through the crimp tube. Okay. I'm going to pull that crimp tube up close, but not right up against it, because we're actually going to put a crimp cover over this, which I don't use a lot of crimp covers, but for this design, I like to have a crimp cover. So you got to leave some extra room for it. Okay, so I'm going to pull that up, but I'm not going to pull it up any further than that. Now, you want to be sure that you are not crossing your bead stringing wire within that crimp tube. Those wires need to be running parallel inside your crimp tube. Whoops, I almost cut that with a cutter. I thought I grabbed thought I grabbed my crimper tool. All right, so we're going to use our crimper tool to crimp this. Notice the crimper tool has two sections. That back section with the little tooth, that's the one where you're going to actually create the crimp. That tooth comes down and presses up through the metal of your crimp and creates further distance between your bead stringing wire within the crimp. Okay, so separate out your wires and give it a crimp. Okay, now, lots of grumpies today. Now, when you take it and you look at it, okay, you can see how that tooth came down and further separated those wires out within the crimp tube. Now, why is that necessary? That's necessary so that your bead stringing wire is not rubbing up against itself within your crimp. And you don't want that to happen because that creates abrasion over time. And when the abrasion happens, it wears away that beautiful coating that is on the outer portion of your wire that's holding all of those wires together. For the record, guys, the wire that I include in your kit this week is a 49 strand wire. So you're getting the good stuff this week. But it keeps the wires from rubbing up against each other and destroying that nylon coating. When the nylon coating gets destroyed, then those 49 strands tends to unravel, and that creates a weak spot in your design, and over time it will come apart. Okay, so that's why it's really important that you use proper crimping technique, right? Don't be grumpy. I'm just sharing the facts with you. I'm not talking about, race cars. I'm telling you something important. Right? This is relevant information, people. Come on. All right. Now, I'm going to place that crimp tube into the front notch of our crimper tool. The only reason this front notch exists is to tidy up that crimp and just make it a little bit smaller so that it is less obtrusive in your design. So if you don't want to cover it with a crimp cover, you don't have to. It's nice and small, it's compact, it's tidied up, and it doesn't distract from your overall design. However, we're going to be covering ours today. So what we're going to do is we're going to come in with our cutter tool and we're going to go ahead and trim off the tail of our wire. Okay. All right. Now I am going to cover this with a crimp cover. This is where my friend Colleen has, she struggles with this part, but I'm going to show you the magic here. So I'm going to take my crimp cover. It just looks like a bead. It looks like a little Pac-Man, right? That's what it looks like. It goes over your crimp, just like so. And the part that people struggle with the most is closing your crimp cover over your crimp, whether it's a tube or a bead, without creating a mess out of your crimp cover. My favorite tool to do this with is the Mighty Crimper tool. Now the Mighty Crimper tool is actually a crimper that you use for very large crimps, but that front notch that you use to tidy up those crimps is also a great tool for closing your crimp covers, right? So I just grab the crimp cover inside the jaws of that. Whoops, now that I let my crimp bead slide out. Uh-oh. Come on now. There we go. And this is going to keep you from scratching up the surface of your crimp cover with your chain nose pliers. Can you use chain nose pliers? Absolutely. But if you've got a Mighty Crimper tool, it definitely helps to close that over your crimp, and it makes it look more like a uniform bead, right? It just keeps it nice and round. Do they turn out perfectly? No, they don't. But I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. All right, now we're ready to string on our beads. So I'm going to start with one of our metal beads. Okay, thread that on. Catherine says it's cold where she is. She's in Australia, you guys. She's enjoying the cold weather. Catherine, send me some of your cold, please. We're going to thread on one of our matte Crazy Lace. And we're just going to alternate. Now, I mentioned before, you get plenty of the gemstone beads, but you get extras of the metal beads if you need to add those to make your bracelet a little bit bigger. Okay, there are a lot of different places where you can adjust this bracelet to increase the size if you need to. And using the extra metal beads is a really good way to lengthen out your design. Plus, they're just pretty. They have a pretty little... they're kind of, you know, they're bumpy. They have texture to them. So they are definitely an accent to this design. Not just functional, but pretty as well. I picked these out because we've got that shell theme going on, right? And I don't know, they just kind of felt very seashell-like to me. So I'm just going to thread on all of my beads. Okay, we're going to drop those down. I'm going to keep going here. And then we're going to crimp the other end of this with a wire guardian. And we are going to attach this directly to our decorative ring. Now, again, if you want to use a jump ring as your go-between, you absolutely can, but I still recommend that you use your wire guardian. Okay, so we're just going to thread all of these. Wanda says she creates her own corrugated crimp covers. That's what happens. That's what makes people so frustrated. I'm telling you, the Mighty Crimp tool makes a huge, huge difference. Oh, that's funny. All right, so got one more of these beautiful gemstone beads. And then we're going to put another one of our metal beads. Right, drop all of that down. All right, so we've got a really good length of bracelet here. Okay, and oops, I'm sorry. Now we are, yeah, they're corrugated. Look, check these out. The ones on this bracelet, see how they're bumpy? So that's the crimp cover. That's our spacer bead. Yeah, you can get crimp covers in all kinds of styles, which is cool, right? They're not my favorite thing in the whole world because they do create a little bit of abrasion because they don't sit still. They tend to spin on your bead string and wire, but I've made my peace with them over time. All right, so I'm going to thread on another crimp tube here, and I'm going to thread on my wire guardian again. I'm going to take my wire back down through the wire guardian. Before I go through the crimp though, I want to hook this to my decorative ring. And again, if you want to use a jump ring here as your connection, you can do your wire guardian and then just attach a crimp bead, or I'm sorry, a jump ring to this. Okay, take your wire down through your crimp, and then you just want to pull everything down, pull out all of the slack. So I usually will try to pick a crimp tube that is, or a crimp cover that is as small as I can get it to cover the crimps that I'm using. And that tends to help. So in other words, if I'm using a number 2 crimp, I try to use like a 3 millimeter, 4 millimeter at the most size crimp cover. I don't want to go any larger than that because it really does tend to spin even more on the bead string and wire, and it doesn't sit still. And that really, really causes that extra abrasion. So try to use as small a crimp cover as you can possibly use with the size crimp that you're using. And they come in a lot of sizes. So fortunately, you don't have to struggle to find what you need with that, you know. All right, gonna crimp, making sure the bead string and wire is not crisscrossing inside the tube. And then I'm gonna use that front notch to just tidy it up. I'm gonna come in and trim off the excess. You can thread some of that back through if you want to, but it's not necessary. It's not necessary at all. So I'm going to cover my crimp tube with our little crimp cover here. Okay. And I'm going to use my mighty crimper tool. Albert, please. That dog is so loud. Okay, now just go slow when you're closing your crimp cover too. Don't rush through it. That's definitely not doing you any favors. Okay, so closing that crimp cover. Mine is not perfect, but that's all right. For demonstration purposes, you understand. It'll be taken back apart anyway, because this is part of the inventory. So it all goes back, and you get a fresh crimp cover. Don't think I'm giving you the one I just mangled. Okay. All right. Now we are going to attach our button. Well, we've already attached our button, but now we need to attach our leather because that's our clasp for this piece, right? So you've got a nice long piece of leather cord here, and I'm going to thread that on to our decorative ring and find the middle. Okay, when I find the middle, I'm going to take the two ends together. I'm going to just tie an overhanded knot. And I want to pull that knot down as close as I can get it. Gosh, this leather is so soft. It's so soft. For a colored leather, because you know how sometimes colored leathers are stiff and kind of crack a little bit because of that color coating. This one is so amazingly soft. It's pretty awesome. Okay, so we've attached this, but now what we need to do is we need to create a little opening, right, that can slide over our button and also keep our button from falling out, right? So we've got to find like the happy medium here. So the best way to do that is just to bring your button over here and kind of measure, right? And see, okay, I need about that much space before I tie another knot. And when I tie another knot, then I have this perfect little spot here for my button. It's not so large that my button is going to slip out of it. It's nice and snug, but it's not so tight that it's a struggle to put the button through there, right? Okay, so you just want to do that and tighten down your knot. Okay, and you can do decorative things with this. If you have some large hole beads, you can put them on here and then tie your ends off if you want to. I'm actually just going to trim mine and leave them plain. But I do like to leave a little extra behind just because it's fun, right? So trim a little bit of that off. All right. Okay, so now when we go to put our button on, or our bracelet on, all we do is just slide our button on. But that's not enough for me, right? That's not enough. That's a beautiful bracelet. If you don't want to add charms to this, you don't have to. It looks amazing just like it is. But I am so extra. I love dangles. I love charms and all kinds of movement in my jewelry. So we're going to add charms to our little decorative ring here. And the cool thing is that I've included charms for you, but you can always add your own, right? So we've got our little shell. We're going to do a wrapped loop, and then we're going to attach these two with just some jump rings. Okay, so let's do that. I'm going to take my head pin. I'm going to thread on my seashell, and we're going to do a wrapped loop here. Grab my tools. Okay, so I'm just grabbing the wire right where it is exiting the bead, giving it a good bend, taking away the chain nose pliers. I'm coming in with my round nose pliers. I'm going up and over the top barrel of the pliers. And now I need to rotate those to get this bottom barrel up here to the top so I can take my wire over. So rotate the position of your pliers and guide the wire over to close your loop. And then you just want to wire wrap in that space between the loop that you made and the top of your bead. Okay, so we've got our wrapped loop. I'm going to come in with my cutter tool and trim off the excess wire. Get as close as you can, and if you can't get really close, then come in with your pliers and kind of make sure that you tuck that little tail of the wire down so it doesn't get caught on your clothing. Okay, all right, now we're just going to use some jump rings to attach these. So I'm just going to take a 6mm jump ring, twist it open, add a charm, close that back, jump ring number 2, twist it open, close it back. And then last but not least, our little, I'm calling this one a little water droplet. It's just a little teardrop, but I love this little charm. I don't know why. Maybe it's the little twist that's in it. I don't know. I just think it's so cute. All right, close that back. Make sure you've got a good closure on all of those. Don't want to leave any open gaps in your jump rings, right? And that's it. You've got a fun little charm style gemstone bracelet. How fun is that? And you guys, every time I put these in the shop, you guys buy them up really quickly. This one is very beachy, right? The other one with the leopard skin jasper is a little bit more natural, right? You've got more earth tones here. You've got your little fox that definitely goes with these beads, those foxy colors, right? So there are the 2 color choices that are in the shop this week for our gemstone bracelets with the button clasps. I think you guys like the button clasp part of it the best because you don't have to fuss with it, right? You don't have to ask somebody to help you to put your bracelet on because it's just a button. I love that. I'm a huge fan of that, and I feel like you guys really appreciate that too. So, all right. So those are the 2 bracelets that are in the shop. I'm going to move these out of the way, and I'm going to show you the 2 pairs of earrings. Now these are super simple, okay? These are super simple. But first, I saw a question. Catherine says, what is the smallest jump ring anyone can get? I believe the smallest jump rings that you can get are 2mm. The smallest I have in my own stash is 3mm. I would not, I don't recommend the 2mm. They're very tiny. All right, so we've got these really cool laser lace, right? That's what this is called. This is laser lace. It's an owl. So we've got an owl in gold with some check glass beads and a little Swarovski crystal. I'm going to put that together for you here in just a second. So there's the gold pair and then the silver pair. And it's really hard for me to determine which ones I like the best. So the silver little owl and some check glass beads, right? With the little, these actually are from Sam's Bead Shop check glass. So those are the two colorways of our owl earrings. They're so pretty and they're so easy to put together. So we're going to put together the mates that go with these. Let's start with the silver and then we'll put the gold one together. Okay. So super straightforward and easy. Definitely what I consider instant gratification jewelry, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to take an eye pin. We're going to open up our eye pin and we are going to thread that on to the top open loop here of our owl. And then we're going to thread on one of these melon beads. Now, if you guys saw the show I did with Sam, I'm obsessed with melon beads. They're some of my very favorite check glass beads at the moment. I really love them. So when I found these melon beads in my stash, I was like, yep, these are going with the owls. These are little melon beads too. So everybody gets melons, whether you get the gold pair or the silver pair. All right, now we're going to do a wrapped loop at the top here. So I'm just grabbing the wire, giving it a bend, and we're going to come in with our round nose pliers. Okay, we're going up and over, rotating the pliers and taking the wire over to the other side. I'm going to switch hands and we are just going to wire wrap in that space. I love melon beads and Sam had mentioned that he has some bigger ones. I would like to get some of the larger millimeter melon beads. So I'm really, really into the texture of them. I don't know why. It's because it's so simple, but yet I don't know. I'm obsessed with them. I think they're great. And I like the ones that are two-toned like these on the top of this one. All right, trimming off the excess wire. Okay. I'm actually going to go ahead and attach our ear wire to the top of this. Well, it would help if you could see it. There it is right there. We're going to attach our ear wire. And then the last thing to do is just to add our beads to the bottom. But if you don't want to add the beads to the bottom, he looks pretty just like that, right? He's so detailed. I love them. I really, really love them. All right, so we're going to put on one of these teal twist check glass beads. I love those. And a little faceted AB finish because I got to have that extra little sparkle in there. I can't not do the sparkle. All right, so we're grabbing the wire. We're going to give it a bend. I'm going to wire wrap this directly to our owl. So coming in with the round nose pliers, we're going up and over. I'm going to rotate, take the wire over to the other side. But now before I do the wire wrap, I'm going to take it off of the tool. I'm going to take the tail end of that wire and stick it through the loop on the bottom of our owl. Pop those two together very easily. And now I'm going to come in with my bent chain nose pliers to hold that loop out of the way. And I'm going to wire wrap in the space there between the loop and the top of the bead. Whoops. Okay, now I'm going to come in with my cutter tool and I'm going to trim off the excess wire. Oops. Don't really need to tuck any of that. And there you go. Those are so pretty. They're so pretty. And you can see that melon bead on the top has this green teal and this honey color and a little bit of blue. So it really kind of pulls the whole color scheme together. I'm obsessed. Okay, so those are the silver ones. They're so pretty. Now we're going to put together the gold ones, which I also love. It's hard for me to decide which ones I like the best. But we're going to put together the gold ones, and the gold are exactly the same steps. Super, super easy. So I'm going to bring in an eye pin, open up our eye pin. I'm going to thread that onto the top of our owl. Oops. So the laser lace, you guys, they actually do it with a, that's how they're cut, is with a little laser machine. And they're thin, but they're not like bad quality. Like they're really sturdy. They're not bendable by any means. So just in case you're curious, they are quite substantial. All right, so dropping down our little melon. I love the melon beads. And we're gonna do another wrapped loop. So coming in with my chain nose pliers, give it a bend. Round nose pliers are coming in. Okay, we're going up and over. Over to the other side. Unfortunately, guys, I don't have any extra owls. I'm so sorry. I used every owl pair that I had to make these little kits. I do try to have extras for you guys, but today was not today was not one of those days. I had to make kits out of all of them, so okay, just trimming off the excess wire. I'm going to go ahead and attach our ear wire to our wrapped loop that we made. All right. And again, just to show you, he looks pretty without anything else. If it's too long of an earring, right? He looks beautiful just like that. But I like to add the extra dangles. Sorry, not sorry. That's just kind of the way I am. And so I'm going to thread on one of these really cool, these check glass coins. Love those. And then a little Swarovski bicone to go with it. Because again, this one needed sparkle like this one had sparkle. So, all right, another wrapped loop. And before I attach this one, or before I do the wrapping, I'm going to attach it directly to the owl. So go ahead and close up the loop. But before we do the wrapping, right, we're going to take the tail of that loop. We're going to go through here. I get my ear wires from Bead and from Fire Mountain Gems. That came out kind of funny. All right, now I'm going to wire up in the space in between here, trim off the excess wire, and that is it. These truly are instant gratification, just gorgeous, right? Not a lot of crazy technique. These are definitely beginner friendly, but beautiful enough that anybody will wear them. Nobody looks at them and goes, oh, somebody who doesn't know what they're doing made those. No, you can wear these proudly. Tucking in any excess wire, and there you go. There they are. Aren't they so pretty? It's hard for me to decide which ones I like the best, because they definitely have their own kind of little distinct personality, right? This one has like the coppers and the warm golds. This one also has the warmth of the gold, but it has the balance of the silver with it, you know, and that teal that is just so pretty. So there are two little owl earring kits. I'm going to turn you guys around so that you can see these. I'll put them on for you. I hope you guys have enjoyed today's projects. Like I said, I normally do a lot of kits on Fridays, but because the Silver Silk kit that dropped yesterday was such a big deal, I really didn't want to overshadow it with these kits. So I just wanted to keep it kind of simple, but still have something fun and pretty. So here are the silver ones. They're so pretty. They're so pretty. And that teal green color goes with so many things. And of course, who doesn't love silver, right? I love them, love them. So those are the silver. Let me show you the gold ones. And there are the gold. Gold go much better with my hair. But it's funny because the gold looks better on me, but I'm more drawn to the silver. But aren't they pretty? They're so pretty. And they're just simple, right? There's nothing wrong with simple, beautiful. I think they're lovely. Kendall says, so stinking cute. They are so stinking cute. I love it. And then don't forget, we've got our 2 bracelets again, right? I just want to show them to you again, just so that you don't forget. So we've got our gemstone bracelets. This beautiful one in blue. that calming, wonderful blue color. Very close to what I have on. Love that. And then this one with the leopard skin jasper is just a little bit more earthy, right? With our browns and coppers and reds in it. And our little fox and our sunshine charm. Look at that little fox. He's so cute. They would have made cute earrings too, but I only had so many of those, so I wanted to make sure that they got used on a bracelet as a charm. Whew. All right, you guys. So that's it for our Feel Good Friday show. It feels like a short one because it really has been. We've only been together for about 45 minutes. We're usually together for about an hour, sometimes longer on Fridays, because our Friday shows are very casual and laid back. We chat about all kinds of things and put together kits and just enjoy each other's company before we part ways for the weekend. But this was a short show, and that's okay. That's okay, right? For those of you who are part of the Hardwired group, don't forget we have a very special guest tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So set your reminders for that if you're part of our Hardwired group. Also, guys, the Hardwired group will be open for enrollment again, I believe, starting next week. So get ready for that. If you're not part of our Hardwired group and you'd like to join, the enrollment period is just about to open. I'll let you know for sure when that happens and make a post for you guys. Let's see, anything else? Oh, don't forget, tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern time, I have a Michael's class. We're making wire wrapped rings. We're doing 3 different wire rings, and they're all easy, but really fun. And it's going to be a good class. Rings are always really popular. So if you'd like to see some wire rings put together, come join me for tomorrow's class. If not, enjoy your weekend. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your Friday afternoon. Let's see, anything else? Nope. Cooper says hello. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon. And don't forget, there are only a handful of the Silver Silk kits left. The rest of the kits, I do have a tendency to restock things. But with the Silver Silk kit, once it's gone, that's it for that one. You'll have to wait until the next Silver Silk kit comes around, which is coming. So just so you know. All right. Have a wonderful afternoon, you guys. I will see some of you guys again later. I'll see some of you on Saturday. If not, I'll see you again next week. Enjoy your weekend. Bye, guys.